Like after watching this, I'm sitting there thinking that there's no reason we can't have a Dragon Ball Z movie. Like it should exist. It really should. All right, hey everybody, welcome back to Small Couch Reviews. It's your boy Sam.
It's your boy Jovi.
First off, I'm going to apologize if I'm if it's like shadier than usual. My lights are not working. But anyways, Sonic 3, the movie. It's come out. We got an early screening to it. We are here to talk about it. Now I got to say, the theater we went to see it in, I'm glad we went to see it there because it's not far, but it's a little further than other theaters we go to.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that I had time to ride home and decompress. Because had we done this in the car, like right after, I'd have just told you this is a 5 out of 5. Go see it. There are no issues with it. I'd have glazed this movie. And then just be like, it would have been a 1 minute thing. I would have just been telling you to go see it. So we could talk about spoilers all day.
Yeah.
Now we are planning to have a spoiler talk, so I will save a lot of my excitement for then. But I will just say, off jump. I mean, if you're here, you probably watched the first 2 movies. Mm-hmm. I can just tell you're not going to be disappointed by this one.
No, not at all.
No way. It's amazing. Everything you think is going to be good is good. It's Shadow jumps off screen from the very, very start. It's the first thing you see, and they got him perfect down to the way he skate runs was amazing.
Absolutely.
And it was so good. Yeah. But I'm going to be objective. Like I said, I did decompress. In the theater, there were a lot of people with me. There was a little girl next to me. Couldn't have been more than 12 or 13, and she had red streaks in her hair, like for Shadow, and she was excited. And me and her had the same energy during this movie. I was a kid again, man. And she might have even been like, "Bro, you need to calm down a little bit," because we were getting hyped. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna be objective. Bring it back down, Sam. Bring it back down. We'll do our sours and our sweets with this movie. Just so you know, for the plot, it is Sonic Adventure 2. Now, if you haven't played Sonic Adventure 2,
literally,
if you haven't played it, in this, Sonic meets another hedgehog called Shadow. It is basically the black and red version of him. Mm-hmm. And this hedgehog Shadow is evil, but evil for a good reason, which is something I like. He basically wants to blow up the world because the world took someone very precious from him. That is the plot of Sonic Adventure 2. And to do that, he teams up with Dr. Eggman to do this. And they hatch a plan to build a weapon that is going to basically destroy the planet. And Sonic and friends have to stop them.
Yeah.
Now, this movie does take... this movie it's very, very close. It does take a slight liberties, but it's very close to that story of Sonic Adventure 2. So, let me do my sours. My first sour, I'm going to be a huge nerd, and I'm just going to say it. It was the first thing I said. Shadow was using Chaos Control, and he did not have a Chaos Emerald. And I was like, there's no way he should be able to do that. He was teleporting all over the place, and I was like, no, wrong.
Yeah, because they said that he himself creates chaos energy.
Yes,
so they tried to retcon that and tried to make him cool from the jump.
Yeah. I quickly got over that, though, so I'm just saying that's just a nerd moment. But seriously, so, you have to look at this movie. Like, this movie, it's perfect for children. It's less than 2 hours. And it gets right into it because it just has, like, an exposition dump, which normally me and Jovi might be like, you're basically, like, telling us what you have to do in this movie. Right. But, for kids, it's like, hey, right after Shadow comes out, like, this general comes and says, hey, this is Shadow. This is what happened. This is why you got to stop him. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not really upset with that, but just, if you're someone if you're going in, you're trying to look at this like, I guess, let me say this, more of a drama film or, one of those types of films, just, temper your expectations a little bit.
Right.
And then outside of that, the only thing that I can say that was a sour for me in this movie, and I mean, no disrespect, but Eggman. Jim Carrey literally is he's been the best part of the last 2 movies. Mm-hmm. And if it's between him and Shadow, between who are the best parts of this movie.
Yeah.
But as you know, there's as you've seen in the previews, he's playing two different people in this movie. He's
Yeah.
playing himself and his grandfather. And there's literally, and they are good, but there's literally just one scene where the movie just got a little too silly for me, and I was like, yeah, this isn't working for me. It just like he's a silly person, and it
Yeah.
went there, and I was like, okay, come on, like this is this is a good waste of a good 2 or 3 minutes that we're doing right now.
Okay.
Outside of that, I got nothing to say, and I think you know what I'm talking about, Jovi.
Yeah.
Um, outside of that, I got no sours. I will pause there because I've been talking a lot, Jovi. Tell me what any sours that you may have had.
Oh yeah, I can. Yeah, oh, man. I don't. So this movie is hilarious. This movie is action packed. There are moments where they do the disposition and like try to talk and like try to bring you in
Mm-hmm.
and I guess get you to understand Shadow and there's friendships and bonds created continuously through this. And then I feel like those moments for me where I'm like, you've had me laughing for 30 minutes. I'm sorry. I don't care. And that's a sour, not I guess for the film itself, it's a sour, like, and as a whole for me, like, you have made an action comedy,
Mm-hmm.
make it an action comedy. I don't need some of these serious moments. Um, but to make a compelling story, I understand why. So that's
I
it
agree.
for me. That's the sour because everything else, and I'm
Yeah,
gonna
man.
let you go in, I'm gonna let you
Uh,
glaze, and
I
I'm
got,
gonna piggyback
I got,
because
yeah.
I the
If here's,
yeah,
I actually still have. Is it down here? Hold on. Let me see if I got it. I still have my Sega Dreamcast. Okay,
yeah,
and if you open it, the game that is in
but
there is
that's
Sonic
crazy.
Adventure 2. All
Yeah,
right. I pull this out and I play it on this Dreamcast annually. I
yeah.
love this game. So
No,
let
that
me
game
tell you when I
amazing.
say
Yeah,
this movie was the perfect adaptation, man. Like it was so excellent in every way. So you already know, so, it's crazy. I love Sonic. Ben Schwartz's voice is amazing. The way he's animated is amazing. Him and
mhm.
Tails and Knuckles. And
Yeah,
it's crazy that in all three movies, he hasn't been the best part of his own movie.
no,
It's either been Robotnik or Shaq. That just shows how good these characters are.
yeah.
So I'll just say that the characters are
I
spectacular.
so
In
but thank you.
particular,
Yeah,
because I thought Jim Carrey thought he was going to retire after last movie, and I
yeah.
really like what they did. I like his arc in this movie. I like how they introduced him, what they did with him, and ultimately how it ended. We'll talk about that later, but
And the
I like,
spoilers, yeah.
yeah, I like where he's going. I'm interested to see what will happen in the future. Minor spoiler: I heard Jaleel White spoiled that there's another movie coming out.
Yeah, so Jaleel White already spoiled that there is a fourth film in the
Yeah,
works. This is gonna make bread.
yeah.
It's like I've already texted 10 families,
Oh,
like
me too.
go tell your kid, take your kid,
In the
take your
time
kid.
in the time we've gotten home, I've texted a bunch of people. So yeah, I mean, like I said, all the characters are just as good as the first two. If you haven't seen
Yeah.
the first two, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go watch them. But Shadow, one thing that the game didn't do as well, I think, you understood why he was mad. And you
Mhm.
saw flashbacks of Maria, and literally every time you died as Shadow, he would just say her name, Maria, right?
Yeah.
This movie did a great job of showing why he loved her. I
Yeah.
think. I think
Yeah.
even though, like I mean, it wasn't long. It was, again, it was flashbacks. Maybe in total, maybe 6 or 7 minutes. But it did a great job of showing why he cared so much
Yeah.
and why he was so pissed.
It's funny that you say the time frame, right?
Hmm.
Because when I was watching it, I was like, I wonder how long they're going to give this to us, right?
Yeah,
Are they going to take too much of our time away from the story? And then as it was going, I was like, wow, I want to know what else. Like, I want to know this relationship. Like, his motivation is probably the best motivation we've seen on film in a really long time.
in a kids movie, like
In a
get
kid,
that, get that.
That yes. And then when it comes to characters, period, yes, he stole the show. And of course, Jim Carrey, man, like he,
Uh-huh.
he
Uh-huh.
he been killing it since In Living Color.
Yeah, bro.
Like
He gives it his all, man.
so, but so my thing that always stands out for Sonic, and this is going to be my biggest suite, like, bruh, I can watch this and not feel like I'm watching fake characters on screen.
Yeah, they feel like like they feel like
Yeah.
actual characters. Yeah.
Like I'm fully engaged and engulfed and like having a good time. And I'm not looking like, oh my gosh, these freaking animated things look stupid next to these people. Like,
Yep.
no, it's like I feel like they are in that world. And they're probably the only movie that has done that like super, super well in a very long time.
I agree.
Like
Like for an
they
extended period of time. Yes. The
for
way
yeah,
those
like
characters.
I mean, Shadow rides motorcycles.
He
Like,
rides a motorcycle. Yes.
like, come
With
on.
real people. Like
Yeah.
and even like the human characters, which have generally been let me adjust this real quick. Generally, they've been the weakest part of these movies. I didn't even
Right.
mind them here, probably because they weren't in it a whole lot. But I
No.
didn't even mind it here. In their relationship in this movie, I adored, man. James
I
Marston and
think yeah.
Kika Sumpter. I thought they were really good. And I
This is
will say, oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
I was like, this is a series that's elevated.
Yeah, man.
I
Yeah,
I haven't
exactly.
seen yeah, I haven't seen a trilogy get better besides John Wick, which is not a
How about
trilogy, but
yeah, that wasn't so. I mean, outside of trilogies, real talk. I
yeah.
didn't think I'd have after so the first Lord of the Rings. I thought Spider Verse would be the only other trilogy that would be like, even though it
Right.
hasn't happened, yet, I was like, that's going to be the one that gets it. I did not
Right.
see this one coming. Three for
No.
three, they are so far,
Heck
and
no. And I will arguably say I think I enjoyed this one the best. I haven't you know me, and you say it all the time. If I'm belly laughing, then
then
I
you were laughing.
really find something funny.
You
Because
Jim
it was
Carrey has
so
you in your yeah, man.
yeah, no, just because he's just goofy. And I do agree with you, they went a little too far. They went a little too far for a kids film with some of it, to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's true. That's true. That was for us. That was for us.
That was definitely
Um,
for us. No, everything in this movie felt like this was for every millennial that ever owned a Dreamcast.
down for
Like,
every single
ever.
thing from the little references to like the I'm not gonna spoil it, but the little things that happen in the games to the
Yeah,
music. There's a song in this movie that comes
yeah.
on. And that's
Sam
you know
grabs
what
me
song
and it's like, "That's the song!"
I was like, that's the song. When it happened, that's when I got.
Yeah,
That's when the little girl next to me was probably like, "Bro, you need to calm down," because I got
yeah,
hype.
yeah,
um,
yeah, no. Yeah,
also,
yeah,
I
yeah.
really want to give credit to Keanu Reeves. I don't think I've heard him voice act before. I mean, I know he was in Cyberpunk, but which I
Yeah, and
didn't
he
play.
was talking.
But anyway, he was very good as Shadow. Like he
Yeah.
sold me with the
I
emotion.
felt the pain. I felt the
Yeah,
pain in
exactly.
Shadow voice. I felt
So good job,
yeah.
man. All those people who used to say Keanu can't act, man. Look at him now. Um,
Got better
but
with
yeah, man.
age like Nicolas
And
Cage.
Idris Elba, you saw him. He wears the knuckles. He wears the knuckles gloves in studio. I just
Yeah.
love how much it seems like everyone had so much fun making this, and it translated on screen. So I thought
No,
that was
for
really
sure.
good.
For sure. I'm
Yeah, man.
trying not to spoil it,
Yeah, I
but
don't really have anything else to say.
yeah.
I mean, the action, like I will say, the trailer. When you see the action you see in the trailer, is nothing. Like I
Mm.
thought that I was scared the trailer was going to spoil stuff, but even with that, they
Yeah.
saved a lot of action in this
People were
movie.
so pissed. They were like, "Oh, in the trailer it shows them not even working together anymore." I you that does not tell the
Yeah,
story.
does not tell a story. Like, there's so many
That's yeah.
great. Like, I'm just thinking of the set pieces, bro. I'm thinking of the end of Act Two, and then the Act Three. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah.
dog!
No,
When I
it's
was literally, I'm like, bruh. I mean, people. I've been pointing out how Sonic is basically a Super Saiyan. It's like, bruh,
yeah.
this is Dragon Ball Z. Like, it
Yeah.
really was, and I had no problem with it. So
I love man.
that's all
I'm
I'm gonna say.
yeah.
Because it's not it's almost perfect to me. I would give this one a 4.75,
Oh gosh.
literally just because.
I'm just gonna give it a 5
Go
because
ahead, bro.
I enjoyed it and I feel like even if I'm not necessarily say I could rewatch it over and over
Oh,
again,
I'm gonna rewatch it.
I could have this on, and I can't say that for a lot of stuff that we've seen, right? I
That's
could
true.
have this on and like I could sit down or I could be doing something and like have it and like, oh, this scene was awesome, like and stop and watch and then keep moving on. So like I really enjoyed this for the type of film it is. I'm going to give it a 5. That doesn't mean it's my favorite movie of the year. We're going to talk to you
Yeah,
guys about that soon. But I will say that ultimately, for a trilogy, for a oh,
even
I
though it's
didn't
not
say
really a
this. I
trilogy.
was thinking about this. Sonic 3 feels like a cartoon live action.
Yeah, man. Like,
It,
yeah, you're
it
right.
just feels like a Saturday morning cartoon
Hmm.
live action.
Yeah.
Straight up.
It,
Goofy, silly action story.
it's yeah, man. And you know something
That's
I'm thinking about as you're oh, real quick. There's an after. There are two after credit scenes just so you
2
know. So
after credit. Please
stay
stay.
for the whole thing. All right, you're
Yes.
going to enjoy it, please.
Yes.
But yeah, you
Please.
know something you mentioned. Like Sonic 1 came out and surprised us. It was great,
Yeah.
even with the weird
Saying it.
product placement. But anyway, it was great. Then Sonic 2 came out and it was better than the first one, and you're like, whoa, how did this happen? Then
Yep.
this one comes out and it's better than the second one. So maybe you know what? Maybe this is a 5, bro. Maybe maybe I'm being I have my critics' eyes on too much, but
I'm telling you, man, I can't mention something that we've seen that's elevated or has come out like came out the like you said, the first scene.
yeah, it
That's how you
opened
start a
like
movie.
yeah. It's a great opening scene, man. It's so good, and it
Yeah.
just keeps going from there. And it's full of heart, full of laughter. Has your emotion. It has everything, man. It's
Yeah.
great. We will talk more in spoilers, but
Yes.
Sonic 3 comes out this weekend. Let us know what you think about it when you see it. Right down there in the comment, and then come back when we talk spoilers so we can all talk about
Oh,
our favorite parts. All right.
yes.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate it. And until next time, we out.
Deuces.